Wow, wow. We have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this is not the news we wanted to talk about. We were sitting here about an hour ago talking about, Brock Purdy, his surgery is scheduled for tomorrow, the 22nd, and boom, Tom Pelissero, NFL Network, drops a bombshell on us that quarterback Brock Purdy today visited Dr. Keith Meister, who recommended postponing surgery because of ongoing inflammation in his elbow. Again, this is according to Tom Pelissero. This is what we were talking about earlier. The reason they had to wait was because of the swelling to die down, and now the same swelling is not died down enough, so they can't do the surgery. So, according to Tom Pelissero, is they'll reconvene in early March, so they'll get back together in March, and all signs continue to point to a UCL repair that could have Purdy ready for the 2023 season. So they're still hoping that he's going to come back and be able to play in the 2023 season. But I mean, the longer you wait, the longer that drags out. So he's not going to be ready for the start of the season. If they have the surgery in March now, that's crazy. 6 months. So if it's 6 months from March, that's September. And that's unfortunate for Brock Purdy, man. Again, I want him to heal up well, but you can't rush this thing. Swelling takes time. I remember Raheem Mostert when he had an injury a couple years back and he had to get surgery. He had to wait a long time for that swelling to go down. Obviously, that was in the knee, but the elbow is very similar in terms of how it is structured. The swelling can pocket up there, and for Brock Purdy, he's gonna wait a couple more days, a couple more weeks. He was supposed to go tomorrow. It's already the end of February, but now it's gonna put him back a few more weeks. This changes a lot for the 49ers. This definitely opens up the door for Trey Lance even more. God, man, I feel bad for Brock Purdy and everything he's had to deal with. It was a pretty considerable injury. UCL is tough, man. I feel this too, Niner need that we can never catch a break. It's unfortunate news, but again, this does open the door a little bit more for Trey Lance, and he's going to have basically first team reps with OTAs and things like that, you would assume. So this is a huge opportunity for Trey Lance to take advantage, but this is a tough break for Brock Purdy and his surgery, man. I feel gutted, man. I feel gutted for the guy. He was such a good story, Mr. Irrelevant. He comes in and then he gets his, elbow whacked in the NFC Championship game, and now he's had to have surgery. We were hoping it was tomorrow, and now we're sitting here talking about sometime in March because of the swelling. So, unfortunate, these are things that can happen with an injury, but now they're going to have to figure out their quarterback situation. It did definitely change this changes a lot of what they're going to do in the offseason to me. Are they going to get another quarterback? Oh, man. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, you got to consider that at some point with the 49ers. I'm not saying that he'll be back, but I'm saying that I think Kyle may consider that option a little bit more. Again, there's going to be a lot of changes now with how they're going to navigate the offseason. Again, we'll wait and see to hear what Kyle and John Lynch are going to tell us next week during the combine. But, this does tell me that if they're still considering the UCL repair, that, the ligament's intact. But, again, you still don't know 100% until you go in and do the surgery. There's a lot of swelling. That is a frustrating injury. Again, it's a pretty substantial, and that's one thing that we were saying over the weeks, that this is a pretty intense injury. And again, it takes time for that area to kind of die down with the swelling. And unfortunately for Brock Purdy, he's got to wait a little bit longer. That sucks, man. That's devastating, man. There's a doctor here, Jesse Morse, MD. He's a doctor that talks about sports injuries and things like that. He says this is relatively good news, as it means the ligament isn't fully torn, or at least the integrity is intact, and he has a better candidate for UCL breaks than the Tommy John surgery. He says this is what his opinion is. Basically, he says, in my opinion, if Dr. Meister was concerned for a full thickness UCL tear, that he wouldn't be recommending postponing the surgery, and he would have done the Tommy John to begin with. So, in a sense, yes, the repair is probably going to be what they're doing, but they got to wait for that swelling. But unfortunately, man, this is just a horrible break for the 49ers. This is a horrible break for Brock Purdy. To me, I think it's just bad luck, man. Like, what can you do? But unfortunately, these are the breaks when it comes to injuries like this. So, man, let's take a look at some of the comments, dude. Whew. Man, it's tough. Mr. Sacker says, I'm mad and I feel bad for Purdy and the team. Sacktown says Ward and Jimmy G. Let's see. It's a Josh says Lance is QB1. Time for people to realize that and support him instead of hating him on our boy. I mean, at this point, you can't be hating on Trey, man. This is he's looks like right now he's the quarterback. Like he's the guy. We got to give him his support. At the end of the day, it just makes no sense to hate on the guy. We love what Brock Purdy did. I mean, it was a sensational story, magical carpet ride. But I mean, come on, man. You got to give Trey his support at this point because right now he's healthy. Brock's going to take an extra month of recovery now. It's pushed back a little bit. So, you know, I don't know. Herbert says he thinks Jimmy G will be back. It definitely makes it a little bit interesting. Niner guy for life says sign Tyler Heineke. I don't know, man. This is crazy. Nathan says LMAO. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Jimmy G comes back. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. You never know. You never know. You never know. Young Montana says, me and Niner by nature won't support the team if Jimmy is here. It's going to be interesting. Mr. Sakura says, bring Garoppolo back. You know, it's definitely a change in condition. So Charlie says, why is everyone freaking out? It's a few weeks difference. A few weeks that's a huge difference in terms of getting back to the football field, you know, in a timely manner. Because, again, 49ers expected him to be out 6 months, probably early August. So now it takes it to maybe September. So then again, you know, he's not going to have that off-season training. So this does impact the team in a whole manner. Because, again, that's if he goes and it's 6 months. We still don't know exactly if he's going to have the 6 month type of recovery. So this changes a lot. And the Niners have to really look and see if there's other options for quarterback. Because they're going to need a backup regardless if Purdy's coming back in September or October or whatever the case is, still going to need to make a backup quarterback. So people are freaking out because this is Brock Purdy's livelihood. We want him to be healthy. We want him to be back and better than ever. But this is definitely a situation that's a little bit of a setback. I know it's a few weeks, but a few weeks in recovery of an injury can be a little it can make a big difference. A few weeks here and there changes a lot of you know, of a team season. But again, this is a strong team. And now I think a lot of people are, you know, realizing the reality of the situation. But, hey, Trey Lance is going to be healthy, and he's going to come in and, you know, take advantage of this opportunity. To me, this is a big, big, big opportunity sitting in front of Trey Lance right now. So, let's see. My man says he yelled F and Y when he read the notification. I was shook when I saw that. I was like ready to, you know, see any updates tomorrow about the surgery and this and that, and boom, that was a bombshell. That's a bomb. To me, it's a bombshell. Oh man, David says, I got the notification of the live and thought it was good news. I wish it was good news, but this is the 49ers. We don't always have good news. Oh man, I don't know. At the end of the day, we just want a Super Bowl, and we want this team to be healthy. And you know, I hope whatever happens with Brock, man, he just goes through and has a good, healthy recovery. You know, I know it's going to be pushed back a few weeks, but I think at this point we were all like hoping that he had that surgery, get it over with. It just sucks that he has to wait a little bit longer. It just, you know, it sucks when you have an issue like this. It definitely, to me, it's kind of like, as that player, as working in the rehab, it's like I want whoever I'm working with to go. If I know like a patient of mine has to have a surgery, I'm like, let's get it done so we can like attack this. You know, mentally, you want to just go out and attack it. The longer you have to wait, it gets more mentally frustrating. It's going to be a, you know, a mental uphill battle. But you know, he's a tough, strong young individual, and I think he'll be able to bounce back from this. But it is a little bit of a setback. So Josh says this is a perfect scenario for us if you think about it. Let Trey start. If he does good, keep him in. If he does trash, let Purdy come in when he's healthy. So it does kind of set it up for that type of situation where, okay, Trey's going to get his opportunity. At this point, this is it. This is Trey's team. You know, if he goes out there and he kind of falls on his face and then Purdy comes back, let's say he comes back and he's ready for October and you're kind of scuttling around with Trey, then you got Brock, boom, perfect situation for him. Or if Trey's looking good and Brock's still not ready to go, then, hey, look, you roll with Trey. And at the end of the day, it's a win situation for this team in that sense. So I do see that take. I don't think that's a horrible take. That's something that we've kind of brought up here and there. You know, if Brock Purdy's not ready to go and Trey's looking good, then hey, you got two young quarterbacks capable of starting. At the end of the day, it could only be good for Trey. If he comes out there and he kills it and he starts winning games, as you know, we all expect him to with the number 3 pick, in the NFL draft. We hope that he's lives up to that. And if he does, that's great, man. That's awesome news. So it's a 1 to 2 week, says Charlie. 1 to 2 weeks definitely can be, a lot in recovery though. Again, we still don't know exactly what the surgery is going to entail, So we'll see. I know it's only a few weeks difference, but again, it does set back just a few weeks. So we'll see. It does, to me, in my mind. Maybe I am overthinking it, but to me, it makes this definitely changes the dynamic. March is a lot different. Let's say it's March 10th, March 15th, middle of the March. It's a lot different than February 22nd because again, when you have the surgery and after the surgery, you need to get that swelling down and that kind of the recovery process has to start. And typical fashion, it takes 3 months for that to heal. But that's just if everything goes well. You never know. You can't really predict how it's all gonna shake out from here. We want it to be nice and everything goes well. But again, we didn't expect him to have this issue leading into the surgery. We all thought tomorrow was going to be the day. Boom, surgery, let's get it. And now we're waiting for a couple more weeks. So again, you just got to hope that the swelling dies down and they're able to, have that surgery in March. But it did say in Tom Pelissero's tweet that they'll reconvene in early March. That they'll reconvene. It doesn't mean that they're exactly going to have the day set. What if they reconvene and they're still not ready to go? So again, that's just looking at all aspects of it. It could be as simple as wait another week or two, boom, you do the surgery, and that's fine. But if it does kind of start trickling into mid-March and stuff, then you have a little bit of issue. So this definitely, to me, does change how they have to attack the surgery or the off season again too. You got to really make sure that there's going to be quarterback backup that's capable to come in because 100%, we don't know exactly when Brock Purdy will be back. That's just all I'm saying. But yeah, if it's just a 1 to 2 week difference, then that's fine. So Chuck says, will he be ready for camp? So according to Tom Pelissero, he says that the expectation is that he will be ready for the season and everything. So again, Tom Pelissero says they'll reconvene in March, early March. All signs continue to point to a UCL repair that would have Purdy ready for the 2023 season, but it doesn't say anything else other than, will he be ready for camp or this and that. So they'll say he'll be ready for the season, but they don't say exactly when he's going to be 100% ready. So exactly 100%, we don't know. So we'll see. But they did say he should be ready for the 2023 season. It's just frustrating, So it is frustrating. So I got a couple other news here. Falls in line to what we knew. It's a bad UCL tear. It's still too inflamed to perform surgery. 3.5 weeks post-injury, postponing to roughly 4.5 to 5 weeks. Severity of the injury makes sense given how many consultants Purdy received due to deciding between the injuries. So yeah, I guess it makes sense from what this report is saying that because he's had so many people look into it, that it probably was more severe than they initially thought. So again, this is something that we have to really look and see how this is going to affect the season. But hey, this opens the door for Trey Lance, and I just hope that everything goes well with Brock. I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for the guy. So anyways, yeah, that's it. Breaking news. Brock Purdy, unfortunately, his surgery will be postponed until sometime in March. We'll get some updates next week when John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan address the media. So I'm sure that would be I'm sure that was the question on the docket next week. When we see John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan talk to the media, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the first question out of everybody's mouth is, what's the update on Brock Purdy? That to me is probably going to be the first question, and we'll see what they say. So sucks for Brock. Let's hope for the best for him. It's terrible, but again, let's hopefully it's only a 1 or 2 week thing, and he can continue to be up, rehabbing where we thought he was going to be and get to where he needs to be some point in the season. So My man JR says, "Why do I look kind of like Jimmy?" A lot of people tell me that. I don't think so. Am I the Indian Jimmy Garoppolo? I love you guys. You have a good night. I'm gonna go hop on Instagram.